Thank you very much. They're all be seated. Let's now go on to the draw and welcome on stage the master draw for tonight, CAF Secretary General Hisham El Amrani.
Apologies for this. Can you hear me now? Thank you. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma, Your Excellency, President of the Confederation of African Football, Dr. Issa Hayatou, Your Majesty, King Zweli Thini, dear LSE Chairman, Chief Mwelo Nonkanyana, dear SAFA President, Kirsten Nemantandani, representatives of the participating teams, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome once again to the final draw of the Orange Africa Cup of Nations South Africa 2013. After the outstanding success of the 2012 edition, seen across 160 countries, and broadcasted over more than 200 networks, CAF is confident that South Africa will deliver an even more remarkable event. And today marks the final stage on the road to Soccer City, where South Africa will kick off the event on January 19th, 2013. Out of the 16 teams that will compete in this 29th edition, only 9 of them were present in 2012, which is just a little bit more than half. While Cameroon and Egypt will be for the second time the big absentees, we will also be without the hosts of the last tournament, namely Gabon and Equatorial Guinea, who both failed to qualify. However, and as mentioned by the CAF president, and for the first time in their history, we will witness the performance of the Blue Sharks of Cape Verde, who recorded the biggest upset of those qualifiers by beating the mighty Cameroon. Niger made it as well for the second time in their history by beating Guinea, and will also have the pleasure of watching Ethiopia perform on the biggest stage in Africa 31 years after the last appearance, even though it will be their 10th participation. So how did the 15 teams, to the exception of South Africa, qualify? Well, this time, CAF had to adopt a special format of qualifiers considering the short time between the last edition that ended in February this year and the coming one in January. So we had a total of 46 countries that entered the qualifying competition to join the host, with 1 preliminary round and 2 home and away rounds, giving us the 15 teams that emerged victorious. But to translate words into action, I now invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to watch a video of some of the highlights of those qualifiers.
dance the rainbow. Move left, move right. Shout a message of joy. Stand together, hand in hand. Celebrate life. Unity and band. Sing now. One voice on this land.
And now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we're all waiting for, the draw. But before getting started, please allow me briefly to explain the procedures for tonight's ceremony. The 16 teams will be divided into 4 groups of 4. Group A will be based in Durban, Group B in Port Elizabeth, Group C in Bombela, and Group D in Rustenburg, keeping in mind that the first 2 matches of Group A and the final will be played in Soccer City in Johannesburg. In conformity with the competition's regulations, the host country, South Africa, will go automatically to Group A in position A1, while the title holder, Zambia, will go automatically to Group C in position C1. The other 14 qualified teams have been split into 4 different pots on the basis of their performances in the last 3 editions of the tournament, namely 2008, 2010, and 2012. And therefore, we have 4 pots as follows in alphabetical order. Pot 1, Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. Pot 2, on my right, Angola, Mali, Nigeria, and Tunisia. Pot 3, Algeria, Burkina Faso, Morocco, and Niger. And finally, pot 4, Cape Verde, Democratic Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, and finally, Togo. This draw will be composed in 4 different stages. Stage 1 will consist in making a draw from those 2 balls, which is Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. The first team taken goes automatically to Group B, position B1, and the remaining one goes to Group D in position D1. Then we will proceed to the draw for the teams of pot 4. In front of me here, I have 2 jars, one with red balls that represent the groups, and one with green balls that represent the teams. The procedure will consist in taking 1 red ball to determine the group, and then 1 green ball to identify the team that will go into that group. I will repeat this 3 more times to distribute all the teams from pot 4, and then that will make us move to stage 3, of this draw with teams from pot 3, and then finally the fourth and last stage, the teams from pot 2. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be starting the first stage. Ghana, ladies and gentlemen, the Black Stars going to Group B, position B1. Côte d'Ivoire, ladies and gentlemen, goes therefore to Group D, position D1, and that completes the first stage of the draw. And now moving with stage 2, I have the pleasure to welcome a South African national hero, a football player that will be remembered not only for having made his country proud, but also for his playing career spanning across the continent. He scored 9 goals in 23 appearances for the Bafana Bafana from 92 to 97, and he played for many clubs throughout his career, including the Corinthians in Brazil, Wolverhampton Wanderers in England, as well as other clubs in China and Belgium, as well as Saudi Arabia. But undoubtedly, the highlight of his career came during the Orange Africa Cup of Nations in '96, held here in South Africa, when he scored 4 goals, among which 2 goals against Tunisia in the final to secure the crown for South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mark Williams. Good evening, Mark. Thank you for being with us. Now we will proceed with the second stage, and I'll ask you, dear Mark, to pick a ball from the red ones to determine the group. That is B4. So the next team to be drawn will go into Group B. And now I'll ask you to pick the team that will join the Black Stars. And that will be Democratic Republic of Congo, ladies and gentlemen. The Leopards, their 16th participation, will hope to repeat their feat after winning the trophy in 1968 and 1974. Dear Mark, I'll ask you to proceed with the next one. A4, ladies and gentlemen, the group of South Africa. So if you allow me, Mark, I'll ask you to be patient with me. Ladies and gentlemen, this position means that the team that will be drawn next will play South Africa in the opening of the 29th edition of the Orange Africa Cup of Nations. This is a match a whole nation and continent is waiting for. So I have the immense privilege to call on stage His Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Mr. Jacob Zuma. Accompanied by President Ayatu. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you very much. Excellency, I will ask you now to pick one of the balls from this spot to determine the team that will play South Africa. Cape Verde, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Under your applause, ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to accompany the President of the Republic of South Africa together with the CAF President. the draw, please go ahead for the next group. And that is C4. So the next team will go with Zambia, the title holders in Group C, that will be played in Bombela. And to know which team is that, please, dear Mark. That is Ethiopia, ladies and gentlemen. The Walia Antelopes will be at the 10th participation and will be joining Zambia. And now, to conclude the stage, it's Group D, D4. Please, Mark, if you can pick up the last ball then to confirm that this team will join Côte d'Ivoire. And that is Togo, ladies and gentlemen. Togo will be playing their 7th time at the finals. Coach Didier Six. Thank you very much, dear Mark, for your participation. Appreciate it. Under your applause, ladies and gentlemen. And now, to carry on with the third stage of the draw, I have the pleasure to call on stage another African football legend, a player known for making his opponents dizzy thanks to amazing technical skills and flair. He started his career with Wydad Casablanca before moving to FC Sion in Switzerland, then Matra Racing and Olympique Lyonnais in France. Runner-up for the African Player of the Year in '86, he was MVP of the AFCON in '86 and '88, where he played 4 times, reaching 3 times the semi-final. Key player of the Moroccan Dream Team that reached the second round of the FIFA World Cup in 1986, he made 101 appearances for the Atlas Lions. Please welcome on stage Aziz Boudarbala. Bonsoir Aziz, bienvenue. So we'll start with the next stage for teams of pot 3. Dear Aziz, if you can take one ball from the red here. And that is D3. So the next team to be drawn will go into the group of Côte d'Ivoire. And that is Algeria, ladies and gentlemen. Les Fennecs d'Algérie, 15e participation. Ils ont éliminé la Libye avant de se qualifier. The next one, dear Aziz. A3, the group of South Africa. Next team will therefore join South Africa with Cape Verde. Dear Aziz, if you can proceed. That is Morocco, ladies and gentlemen, the Atlas Lions, 15 participation as well, coached by Rashid Taousi, will join the group of South Africa. We proceed to the next group. C3, so the next team will go into Group C, the group of Zambia. Dear Aziz, if you can identify that team. Burkina Faso joining Zambia and Ethiopia, the Stallions being at their 9th participation. And finally, to conclude the third stage of this draw, it is B3. So the next team, the remaining team of this pot, joining the group of Ghana, please. And And that is indeed Niger. Niger, ladies and gentlemen, second participation. They have eliminated Guinea before reaching here. Dear Aziz, under your applause, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your participation. Thank you. Excellencies, we're now proceeding to the last stage of this draw. And for this, I have the privilege to be accompanied by Africa's most famous number 11. He played 114 times for his country and scored more than 50 goals, playing in 6 editions of the Orange Africa Cup of Nations, reaching the final once in 1994. He was also famously known for scoring a hat-trick against Italy in a 4-0 victory at the 1988 Olympics in South Korea. At the club level, he played for Cercle de Bruges before going to PSV Eindhoven, where he won a couple of titles, and then before ending with Club America of Mexico, spending there 8 years. Currently president of the Football Association of Zambia and CAF Executive Committee member, his dream came true when Zambia lifted the trophy in Libreville in February this year. Please welcome on stage Kalusha Bwalia. Good evening, Kalusha. Glad to have you with us. Let's proceed now for the teams of part 2. I'll kindly ask you to pick one red ball to determine first the group. D2. So the next team to be drawn will join the group of Côte d'Ivoire. Here, Kalusha. And that's Tunisia. Tunisia, ladies and gentlemen, the Carthage Eagles, coached by Sami Trabelsi. It's their 16th participation. They complete Group D of Côte d'Ivoire. And now to proceed with the next group. And that is B2. Next team then will complete the group of Ghana. You can proceed, dear Kalusha. Mali, ladies and gentlemen, the Eagles of Mali, with their captain Seydou Keita, joining Ghana, Niger, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Let's move on and pick up the next team. A2. So the next team will complete the South African group. Here, Kalusha. Angola. Negras, playing for the 7th time, will complete Group A. Here, Kalu will proceed with the last team. And that is indeed C2, completing the group of Zambia. Please. And it is indeed the Super Eagles, ladies and gentlemen. Nigeria, playing for the 17th time, coached by Stephen Keshi, will join the group of Zambia. Thank you, Kalusha, for your participation. Under your applause, ladies and gentlemen. Distinguished guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes tonight's draw. Please allow me to provide you with a summary. Group A, South Africa, Angola, Morocco, and Cape Verde. Group B, Ghana, Mali, Niger, and Democratic Republic of Congo. Group C, Zambia, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and Ethiopia. And finally, Group D, Côte d'Ivoire, Tunisia, Algeria, and Togo. I now look forward to see you on the 19th of January 2013 to see South Africa play Cape Verde, and then the beat will be at Africa's feet. Thank you very much for your attention, ladies and gentlemen. And now, dear Lebo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, and definitely to Hisham El Amrani. Now, after that engrossing